Introduction to Easy Booking Bookkeeping. Hi, my name is Mark. I will be explaining how to use this bookkeeping system to you. And the first thing that I want to do is go over some of the tabs you're going to see. This whole project was done in Excel. It's a fairly simple system. It's good for smaller businesses, and I think you'll find it to be very easy to use. The first thing I want to mention to you is to go to the Explaining the System tab, and please read this because it's very important. It's also very important that you watch all of the training videos that I've done before you do anything in the system. You could run into problems if you don't follow the instructions. So please read the Explaining the System tab and then go through the video training links. And then if you have a question about something, the links are set up so that it covers specific topics and you don't have to go through and view the entire training videos again. So the first thing, as I said, I want you to see the introduction, the tabs that we have. We have the Explaining the System tab, the Video Training tab, which you're already familiar with because you're in it. Then we have the Company Setup tab. On the left-hand side, you will see the months. The months will correspond to the month number. So right now, it's showing that January is the first month of your fiscal year. That shows month 1, February, month 2, and so on. And we'll get more into this a little later. On the right-hand side, you will see this setup to enter the numbers for your starting balance sheet. Now, one thing to remember on this is that all you have to do is enter the assets and the liabilities, and your owner equity will be automatically computed and entered into the system. The next section is the chart of accounts. This is the only place where you can manipulate the account names, so you can't touch them anywhere else. And you're going to see throughout, anything in yellow you're going to be able to change. For example, on this particular tab, chart of accounts, you're not going to be able to change cash. That's always there. Anything else in the assets, liabilities, income and expenses, you can change the name of, but it's important to note that if you want to make a name change, you should do it before you make any entries. If you decide to change a name in the middle of doing your books, that name change is going to appear, but all the prior entries that you made into that account are also going into there. So I'll get into that a little bit later. The next one is the equity split. I have this set up for 2 members. You don't have to have 2 members, but when you look at your balance sheet, it's just going to show equity as one item. It's not going to show equity by individual. In order to do that, you have to go to this sheet and you will have to manually enter. So you don't have to have 2 members. You can have 1 member, and you don't even need to use this particular tab if you don't want to. But if you have more than one, you could show each individual's equity situation here, and then you have the total column and then of each entry, and then total equity. So if you know something about Excel, you may be able to add more individuals, but as it is now, there's set up for 2 individuals. Next column is your financial statements. This will keep a running balance and total for each individual month, and then at the end you're going to see the balance for the year to date, or for the year to date for the income statement, and at a specific date in time for the balance sheet. Here you see month one. The yellow is where you make your entries. You have cash out, cash in, so it's basically, this is your cash journal. You have one of these for every month, and you must list an account name for this to be properly recorded. There are 12 of these, obviously, 12 months. I want to take you to the end. We have the year-end adjustment columns, where the balances will be pulled from the financials, and then we have adjustment columns where if you need to recategorize something or any type of adjustment, maybe at this point is where you're going to enter your for example, your depreciation and accumulated depreciation. Then it'll bring it over to the adjusted balances. If you take this, for example, to someone who knows accounting and is doing your tax return, they could actually make these entries for you. And even down below, although they're not specific accounts listed in this system, if they needed new accounts based on the forms used by the IRS and they wanted to put them in, they certainly could do it here. And then knowing a little bit about Excel, they could follow through, make an adjustment, and come up with adjustments for that particular account. Okay, so that's all 12 months plus your financial statements, your equity splits, and your video tab. Now, what I want to show you here is going back to month one. We are capable of hiding things in Excel. So just to get away from having overwhelming numbers of tabs, I've hidden some tabs in here that you may want to use. Now right here you see all of the tabs when you're using cash. Let's say you wanted to make a journal entry, credit cards for example, and you can't do that in your cash tab. You can't make multiple entries for different expense accounts and one entry for cash. What you'd have to do is unhide, click on the month, unhide, and go to month one, and you'll see a GJ, General Journal month, month one. Open that up, and now you can debit like office supplies, equipment, small tools, whatever you're doing here, and then that total can be credited to cash, and you'll have it all in one entry. There's other things that are hidden in here that I may get into in other videos that I'm going to do for you, but that's basically telling you all of your tabs. And now what I want to do is take you through actually making entries and showing you some more pretty neat things that go on here. So let's move on.